Hey everybody, this is Jim at SP500chart.com. It's about 4:15 on February 6th, 2014, and we're going to take a look at the chart. And saw some strength in the S&P today, and it's really interesting what took place, particularly once we got around midday and later. Before we take a look, excuse me, just need to remind you that the website and this video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site or in this video is intended to be used as investment advice. I can draw lines on charts, but you have to draw your own conclusions from your own research and make investment decisions that are suitable for your personal financial situation. And I am not a licensed financial professional. I'm just a guy who draws lines on charts, so let's take a look. Now, I realize that this chart is something of a mess. But for the life of me, I cannot make myself, I just can't make myself get rid of a lot of the markings on this chart, because to begin with, a lot of them that have their genesis in trends that have taken place, or in events that have taken place a good ways back, we need to keep those. And then when we look at a 15-minute chart, I feel like I need to keep all the little things too, so it all ends up kind of getting kind of cluttered, I guess. But what I want us to look at here on the 15-minute chart is just to see our channel that we identified. Here's our resistance line, here's our support line, and you can see that today we got just a smidgen, if you will, above that line, which is kind of surprising and kind of not surprising. The reason I say it's kind of surprising is we had a candidate for a head and shoulders top right here, left shoulder, head, short right shoulder, and that candidate for a head and shoulders top got confirmed with a breakdown, although I still don't like these bizarre short right shoulders. But we've seen enough of them to know apparently it can happen. Well, this has a target that's actually under 1700. And we had a channel develop pretty clear right here. There it is. And by the way, I did not use this starting high point for this channel, and there's a reason. The first part of the reason is the fact that we often find that the markets move in parallel channels. Not always, but often they do. And this actually would be more difficult to get over than had I started with this point right here. And I'll show you what I mean by that real quickly. If I'd started with this spot up here, and I'd drawn this channel down like that, with that being our line, well, then I could have said, oh, we're pretty much close to a breakout here today. We're 11 points over this line as of the close. But you know, I would rather err on the side of caution, so I'm going to let that stand right where it was, because we had this on our chart for a while. Standing with caution means, well, we got over this line, but not quite enough to say, yeah, that's a breakout. And as a matter of fact, it's really interesting if we go in and we look at this on a 3-minute chart. And you have to take my word on this here, guys. I did not move any of these trend lines, not a single one. And look where we came and tested 1, 2, 3, 4 times today. Could not get over that line that was just a little bit under 1771. Just couldn't do it. And if we back out, you say, well, what was that line? Well, that line is the neckline to our big proposed head and shoulders. Okay? We actually bumped up against that 4 times. Could not do it. And then finally, in the afternoon, got over it by, I mean, by the slimmest of margins. It's certainly nothing that you could worth writing home about. Here we closed at about 1773, and the neckline was at 1770, so we're 2.5 points over it. Just interesting that we came right to that area where we had drawn this circle, came to that first area where we would expect some resistance, and saw it. Then we got over both this channel resistance line and this neckline, but again, by the slimmest of margins. And I would not say at this point by any stretch of the imagination that yes, we broke out over this neckline. No, we closed slightly over it. In order, if you ask me, in order for me to feel that this market is ready to get a move on with a new move for more highs, we have to be up around 1790. We got to give 1800 a good solid run for its money, and that may happen. But we've got some more resistance here. We've got some more resistance here. But if we see more of this kind of strength, I would not rule it out. I really wouldn't. You remember we were looking at the chart yesterday, mentioning that maybe we were seeing something of a double bottom here, and we got that breakout right off the bat, and already have made the target from that double bottom. We measure from our little kind of, I guess you call it a neckline there, and we put it on to the point of the breakout, and did we make it? Yes, we made it. Exactly. That's the high of the day. So, going forward, I think the plan is pretty simple. Let's see if what we saw as a hint this afternoon carries forward tomorrow to solidify getting out over this resistance line and this resistance line. Now, in order for that to become solidified, we've got to get over this red line here. So we're going to meet resistance right away, right out of the gate tomorrow. And if we were to reach 1784 or so, I would consider these two lines to be broken. Okay? Not by a whole bunch, but I think that's pretty darn close. So if we were to get down to 1780, get up to 1784, 1785, and start to back off a bit, I would not think that this would necessarily turn the S&P back in a rude manner. That could just be a little setback that then would have to be overcome at some point down the road. Now, with an eye sort of to the future, not knowing for sure whether this is going to pan out, I'm going to snap this line right here. We'll just see. We'll keep it. It's gray, and we'll even make it a light color gray so that it doesn't speak too loudly about what might be going on here. So let's just see if we go sideways tomorrow and tag this and start up. Then yeah, that may be a good trend line to keep on the chart. So guys, a great day if you're long the S&P, and I want to thank you for taking time to watch this. Thank you for your support, and I honestly hope you get something out of these videos that you can bring into your own thought process. Don't take my word for anything, because I'm just a guy who draws lines on charts. Take care.